Hey second graders, Mr. Bell here. Alright, let's get started on your next project, and that is the rainbow landscape. As you can see, there's a landscape with the sun in the background and some silhouettes of trees. And you'll notice that all the colors in the landscape here are cold colors, green, blue, and purple. And where the sun is, red, orange, and yellow. So you're separating your warm colors from your cold colors. But everything's done just with lines, except for the trees. Those will be colored in solid. Alright, so that creates a real contrast between the solid and the lines. And that's part of what the project's about. So here we go. I want you to think about this first, though, and that is your tree that's closest to you, of course, is in the foreground. And the tree that's in the middle part of the landscape's in the middle ground. You see that? There we go. And the tree that's way off in the distance in the back is in the background. So think about those things also when you're making your project. And I want you to think about silhouettes. And all three of these trees are silhouettes. And here's another example of a silhouette. There's a silhouette of that's right, city skyline. Okay. I also have a poster here. It's too big to show you the whole poster, but I'll show you part of it. Down in the corner, a silhouette of a elephant. So when you have like a sunset or a really bright light behind something, and you're looking towards an object, and that bright light's on the other side of that object, you just see a silhouette of that thing or that object. So you don't see all the details and everything, and like you don't see the grays in the elephant. You don't see the windows and all the details of the buildings. Just a collection of buildings all together and one giant silhouette. And on these trees, we just see the silhouettes of the trees because there's a bright light back there. All right, well, let's get ready and get our materials. All right, we'll move this out of the way, and you're going to need a sheet of paper and a pencil, and you'll want some markers. And if you decide to color in crayon in these empty spaces of purple and green and blue and purple and reds, orange, and yellows, you'll want some crayons to do that later on also. But it's fine if you just leave it with lines also. I'll leave that up to you. All right, so step one, we want to get the foreground on here. We'll go ahead and draw the foreground, and then we'll start putting some middle ground in there. There we go. And we're getting towards the back here. We're just putting lots of layers of different hills, and we'll have our background way off in the distance. So we have foreground, we have background, and variations of the middle ground in the middle there. And what you want to do next is draw the trees, and it doesn't matter what kind of trees you draw whatever kind you want. I put some winter style trees here, so there's no leaves on them.
JESP, hope you had a fantastic first.
Okay, so you heard a little announcement on the intercom there, so I pressed pause so you didn't have to listen to the whole thing. Anyway, decide what kind of trees you want to make, and only making 3 trees. So I'm going to start here in the background, and I'm just going to draw the tree trunk. And let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see this a little better. And I'm going to add some branches to the side. There we go. You don't want this tree to be too big because it's way off in the distance, so you want it small. And we're coming over here to the middle ground somewhere. And draw a tree here. Now if you want to draw your trees with the top part on it like this and turn these into silhouettes, you can do that too. I'm going to leave that up to you. Put some little branches going off the side of this tree trunk also. Get rid of that little line in there. There we go. It's getting bigger because it's getting closer to us. I'm going to actually lower this a little bit lower. There we go. And in the foreground, this tree will be the biggest. It is closest to us. So, just making up how I want it to go. Use your imagination. There's so many different kinds of trees. There's no really right or wrong way for how you design your tree or trees. They can be the same kind of tree, or all three of them can be different from each other if you want. I'm going to get rid of these little lines in there. And of course these especially. There we go. Alright, got a tree in the foreground, tree in the middle ground, and then a tree in the background. Now it is time for the sun. So I put this over to the left. You might want to put yours in the middle, or over to the right, or right here. It doesn't matter where you decide to put yours. You can also start here and make it more like a sunset that's partially gone and disappeared behind the hills also. So that's another thing that you could do. And that's what I'm going to do on this one. And try to keep your lines the same width as best that you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And when you run out of space, you just have to sort of think about where the line would go. And just continue until you fill up the entire sky. There you go. So you can see I did these a little different. I did make them both on the left side, but this one's a lower and this one's up a little higher. So there's options. All right. Now we're ready to start coloring. I'm going to work on the sky first. I'm going to get my red, yellow, and orange marker out. I'll do the trees last. And whatever color you want to start with, that's totally up to you. And you can think about an ABC pattern like red, orange, yellow, or you can do a number yellow, a number orange, and then the rest red. You can do it in order like that, yellow, orange, red. It's totally up to you how you'd like to do it. And I'm going to start down here with the red, and that's going to be orange, and that's going to be yellow. So I'm going to go on to the next red one, and that's going to be orange, and that's going to be yellow, and that's going to be red. And so I'll come over to here, orange, yellow, and then red. Alright, done with that. Now I'm going to do the orange next. There's lots of different variations you could make up. That's really up to you. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. And yellow. That's going to be orange. Yellow. Orange. And yellow. Continue over here. And here. There we go. There's the sky. And now I'm going to move on to the land. I've got my blue, my green, and my purple. And you just have to decide what color you want to start with. I could start with blue. It really doesn't matter. On this one I started with purple, green, blue, green, purple, blue, green. You decide. I'll start with blue on this one. A little bit different than the other one. Jump over. And then you have the extra lines inside. So notice you can follow the shape if you want, or you can go in opposite direction like I did here. Some of these I went more semicircle or curvy. I like to make each one a little different, but I'm going to follow the shape on this and make it a little different than I made that one. You can do these lines in pencil first if you would rather, or you can just get your marker and start making them. Remember, once the marker goes on there, it's stuck on there. So some people do like to do this part first. You can do it very lightly. I'm making this one purple. Make sure you can see. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, and the green. This will be green too back there, because that one will be blue, purple, green. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this as long as I have the green out. And this one will be blue. Oops, there we go. And the purple. And the next part is the silhouette of the trees. So, black marker, and use that really pointy part of this marker to get this little detail. There's one silhouette of a tree. And I'll start working on the middle ground one. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm running low on time, so I'm going to color these in and come back in a second and show you what it looks like when it's finished. So hang in there. Alright, so I'm finishing this silhouette in the foreground, and there you go, rainbow landscape. And if you want to color in, I mean, you can leave it like this if you want to, but if you would like to color in with crayon, then I'm going to show you that part next, so you see a version of that finished. So what you'll do is you just get your crayon, and you don't have to color too hard. Skip over. Then I'll do the purple, the green, the blue, the purple, the green, and I'll do the reds, orange, and yellow. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and color that all in, and I'll be right back. So hang in there, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Okay? Hang in there. Okay. All right, there it is. It's all finished, all colored in. And you can look at the two. One colored in, one not colored in. Rainbow landscape. All right, have fun. I can't wait to see yours. Bye now.